Hi, welcome back to the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and today we're going to continue on with part 2 of the JMRI Operations, right? And setting up JMRI to run operations here on the Retirement Railroad, all right? And we've gone through, how to hook up JMRI to the layout. We've gone through Decoder Pro, Sound Pro, all of that. Now we're getting into, and we also did Panel Pro for switching, all right? Setting up the layout where we can do the switching. So all of that is done and give us a good foundation to build up from to set up the operations. In part 1, we talked about setting up the menu properly. And so if we open up Panel Pro, and let me switch over to screen view. All right. And if we open up Panel Pro, and you can start humming the Jeopardy theme song again. All right, here we go. All right, and now you notice right here, all right, operations is on our main menu. So for part 2, we now can go to operations, and the next thing we need to do is locations. Okay, we need to identify all the locations on our railroad. All of our spurs, yards, sidings, anywhere where a train can unload, load, be stored. Okay, so let's go there. And as I mentioned in the previous version, I've already done a lot of preliminary work, and you can see I've added my locations in, and I have a number of locations, and we'll arrange them alphabetically. I have 10 locations. Now, those are basically areas on the layout, okay? Each one of those locations can have multiple tracks or sidings, okay? And we classify these locations into spurs, yards, or staging. Okay? So we'll just take a look at Aurora. When you open this up, it'll be blank. Won't have anything, and you'll have to add a location. Right, so we can do that. We'll add a location on here, and we can call it Western Industrial. Okay? And it's serviced, and we'll just call it that. All right, we're going to add that location. Now, once we do that, it brings up all of these options for us. Okay? I'm going to call this location a spur. Okay, and with that, Western Industrial is going to have one location to it. So we're going to add a spur track. And we're going to call that Sexton Food Distribution. And the key here is you should know the lengths of all of your sidings or tracks, etc. All right, and Burr Stewart had a great idea. You take rope and you mark it off in like 10 feet or 50 feet or whatever you want to do, segments. Okay. So I happen to already know that Sexton Food Distribution will take 2 50-foot boxcars, so that's 100 feet. And I always throw in a little extra, and it's actually 115 feet. But I'm going to limit it down and just call it 110. and it's I'm going to add that spur track. Okay. Now, what types of cars will this track take? Okay, I'm going to clear it off, and it's a food distribution center, so it's going to take box cars. It's going to take, we'll go through the list here. Really, no flat cars should be going. No gondolas. No grain box cars. No hoppers. No stock. It will take mechanical reefers, reefer ice, and it could possibly take a tanker of food, maybe. All right, and it might even take a tanker of diesel. All right, I'm just going to call that kerosene. Just because it might have a fuel island where the trucks that make the deliveries have to fuel it. Who knows? Okay? So, those are all of the cars that this will take. Now, road option, we don't care. It'll take all the railroads. But what types of loads will it take? Okay? So, we want to accept only box cars that are full or loaded. Okay? Because they don't ship out by boxcar. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot to hit this one. Okay, let's delete all. And boxcar loaded. Use car type and load. And we're going to add that. So now it says boxcar and loaded. Okay. Next one will be reefer mechanical, and we're going to want it loaded. Okay. Remember, it's bringing in foodstuffs by rail and it's distributing out by truck. Okay, so we're going to add that load. And regular reefers, we're going to take in loaded ones. All right. Add that load. Reefer ice. Loaded, food, tanker. Now what would that be? Right. Well, maybe they have their own bottling plant for water or vegetable oil or who knows what. Just to add some versatility to the side. All right. And finally, the tanker with kerosene or diesel fuel. All right. And we'll add that. Okay? Then all we have to do is save the track. So that track is now saved. Alright, Sexton Food is all ready to go. Alright, we're going to save the spur. And Western Industrial, we'll just save that location. So, there we have it, Western Industrial. It's got one spur track and it's 110 feet long. Okay, now we can go back in and look at it. And I'm glad we did because it's still listing all the faults because I forgot to save it at the right point in time. Okay, so we do want to edit this. Oh, it's right. It is correct. The location will take all, but the track itself only takes these. So that's good. It's actually correct. Alright, so that's all there is to adding the location. Okay? And you go through and you add, let's say Western Industrial had more than that one siding. And by the way, it does. Okay, so we're going to add another track to it. Okay. We are going to add a spur track, and it's going to be Route 83 scrap. And off of Route 83 on the Cal-Sag Canal, there are all kinds of junkers down there. Okay, and they scrap the old cars and then load them on barges and float the barges over to the steel mill. All right. So we're going to put in that, and that will also handle two 50-foot gondolas. So we're going to make it at 110, and we're going to add that spur track. Now, what do we want to take? We want to clear all these. What type of cars do we want to take? We want gondola scraps. We may need a box car. Okay. Flat car might come in handy. Hoppers, no. Just a regular gondola. Reefers, no. Tank cars, no. That should be all we need. Okay. Now, again, we need to say what kind of loads, and we're going to accept only empty. Yeah, we'll take empty box cars. Who knows? We may have to ship some scrap out via box car. So we're going to add that. We're going to actually add that. We're going to take box cars that are empty and loaded as well. Then we're going to take flat cars, empty, sure. Flat cars that are empty, yes. Flat cars that are loaded, yes. Gondolas, scrap gondolas. We're going to take them empty, sure. We're going to take them loaded, yes. And just gondola unspecified, empty, yes, and loaded, yes. Okay? And we're going to save that. Okay? So, we have added two spur tracks under one location. We've added Route 83 scrap and Sexton food distribution, both under the location or region, so to speak, of Western Industrial. Okay? Because as you set up trains, you're going to set up what areas do they go to, and this all comes in, makes sense later. I wish I would have known when I was bumbling through this the first time. It was kind of confusing. So I hope this helps avoid situations for y'all. But that's all there is to setting up locations. Okay? With the spur tracks. Once you have the entire railroad in the locations okay, then the next step, and we'll go through this tomorrow, is you'll start adding your rolling stock, okay, into JMRI, and you'll put the specifics of the location, such as a Burlington boxcar number such and such, and it's located at the Aurora Eola yard, okay? Just as an example. Okay? Once those are all in, then all of your rolling stock is located on the railroad, and you know all the locations. Then the computer, once you start putting in routes and trains, it can generate your bills, your switch lists. Okay, and that's once that happens, that's when you start having fun. Okay. Okay, I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad Matinee Modeling Tip of the Day. I'm Steve, and y'all have a great day. Bye now.